Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Build live from Oak Hill Works. How are you doing this evening? I hope you are all well. So yes, tonight we have the Craven 042 back in front of us with all the gear we produced last week. We have another connecting rod to make this week still before the gear is actually finished, and I'm hoping that today we can get all that done and get that on. Of course, we have the motor mounted in place already, so hopefully we can possibly even get something wired up. First question I have to ask is, did anyone here watch Thursday's video? And did you watch it right to the end? Because I hope you did. Good evening, James. Hello, Becca. How are you doing this evening? I hope you are well. Of course, the first thing we have to do before we can fit the gear, get the wheels painted. They want to be in the same green as the body. So what we might do is start off by chucking some paint on this, another coat of green on here, because now that it's dried it's actually looking a lot better than I thought it was last week. I think once the black and the gold and copper etc. go on, it's going to look absolutely fabulous. And we might get the green bits chucked on here whilst we're at it. Get them done, get them out of the way, and then we can move on. While that's drying, we will get the last conrod made, and then hopefully we'll be in a position to start actually adding the gear. I know it's become a bit of a tradition starting these streams with a bit of painting, hasn't it? So if we get out of the way early, we can get on to other things. That's my thoughts. I hope you all agree. So we do, of course, again have the Phoenix Precision. One day I will replace my paintbrushes, I promise. I can't turn these ones for a second there. Did no one see Thursday's video then? Well, I've got the trailing wheel as well, don't I? Hello Javier, how are you doing this evening? I hope you are well. For those joining us that don't know, Javier there is the person that actually designed this kit. It is a 3D print off of his Shapeways shop and can be reached by putting !Javier in the chat. Well, when it spun as a single wheeler. Indeed, Becca. That was the first time this turned wheels under power of the motor, which we couldn't do last Sunday because I couldn't find my Roco controller. I found it on Monday, and I thought I'd best turn the camera on to capture this. Doing fairly well, quite happy to be here. Excellent, glad to hear it. And there we go, lots of links for Javier in the chat. Thank you everyone, you are awesome. So yes, if we just get the small bits of this that will be green done and get another coat on the body, then we can start with working out the second con rod. We can base that off the first one that we've already done. And then we will have a full set of motion for this. Won't that be exciting? As I said last week, once this is done and running, I will be putting together a list of all the parts used, or in the case where I've nicked something out of the kit, where you can get the appropriate parts. I will be sending that list off to Javier so that it can be added to the Shapeways listing so you can see everything there. Don't want to put that away yet, do I? Silly Gary. Be greatly appreciated. Good, glad to hear it. It'd be nice for people to be able to just grab the kit and know what extras they need straight away and where to get them, won't it? Because I always find that as something when I started out in kit building, it's like, oh, where do I get all these parts from? What do I need? What does and doesn't it come with? So we can get all that out there. And that's just going to make life easier for everyone. Oh, and I should paint the cylinders as well. Because I'll tell you what, it'd be much harder to paint these after sticking the valve gear to them. And there we are, that is that job jobbed. Someone's going to miss the start of the stream, and they're telling me on Discord. I wonder if they're telling me that now or if my notifications are being slow. Always clean your paintbrush. You don't want them going bad like mine. There we go. One clean paintbrush. So yes, we need to make another Conrad. Hey, I had a panic earlier about 20 minutes before the stream. I think we were even already in a pre-stream chat, and I couldn't find my etch with all the gear on it. And I was like, oh no, how am I going to make this? Luckily, it turned up. So let's have a look at last week's one. Of course, what we have done on here is, where's my pokey sticks? Here we go. We've shortened this down from the one that is on the sprue. We have shortened this rod down to be the right length to go in the cylinder. So we must do the same again. And of course we have that one now to tell us what sizes we need. Oh, and there is the bot reminding everyone to smash that like button. Or, you know, give it a gentle tap if you'd prefer. Whilst you're down there, make sure you subscribe and ring the notification bell so you find out when I'm live or upload a video, because of course YouTube won't tell you otherwise. I do have to do my YouTube shill bit, that's just what I do. If you don't like me doing my YouTube shill bit, drop down below and hit that dislike button. It's alright, I don't mind. In fact, if you don't like the live stream, stay to the end so you can make a proper judgment, and then drop down below and hit that dislike button. In fact, after the event, you could even leave me a comment and let me know what you didn't like. Gary prepares himself for this being his most disliked stream ever. We're just going to file down and clean up where we've chopped the sprue off. The numbers, think of the numbers. Good evening, Tom. How are you? The algorithm. You see, here's the thing, Tom. YouTube's algorithm has changed again, and the most important thing now is not your like to dislike ratio, it's how many people stay for the whole thing. Which, of course, is just terrible. You don't expect people to stay. Especially something like this, you do not expect people to stay for the whole thing. And yes, I know some of you do, and I very much appreciate it. I'm just making a point that YouTube is ridiculous. Ah, I thought it would make that eventually. Yeah, I don't get why they've done it though. It makes no sense as far as I'm concerned. There is a lot of content on YouTube that is not designed for the whole thing to be watched. But that's YouTube for you. So what we need to do now is, as you can see here, we have two rods of significantly different lengths. So we will cut the head off. That was where we wanted it to go, obviously. We will cut the head off here, move back to where we need to shorten to, which we can measure from this one, and cut again. We will then use the section we take out as bracing on the rear when joining the two sections back together, as we have done on this one. But yeah, it's a really stupid way they've changed their algorithm, because if you're making content that's longer than 10 or 15 minutes, you don't expect people to stay and watch the whole thing. And if you're making content that's shorter than 10 minutes, and you're a monetized channel, which I am not, then YouTube penalises you in your ad revenue. I mean, I don't say YouTube don't want their creators to win, but YouTube don't want their creators to win. It's that simple. We should grab some glue tack. Now, I saw one of the bits that fell. I didn't even see what the other bit was. Never mind. And the glue tack can help us hold this down whilst we cut through it. As per all my other streams, if you want me to mute the microphone whilst I'm doing this, shout mute in the chat. Teeny anvil, indeed. And there is the head off. Just straighten that out where I've bent it. I am now, because of way too much practice in stuff like this, Going to measure by eye where these go. Drop a mark on there. Part of that sounds like it's servicing the less than 5 minute, greater than 5 minute with too broad to blanket everyone. Greater than 5 minute video. Indeed, Javier, it does. I missed the last 10 minutes. What were you referring to? Oh well, that's just ironic. That's rather ironic, isn't it? We were talking, James, about how YouTube's algorithm has changed, and now the most important thing is if people watch the whole video and don't disappear halfway through for 10 minutes or so. The irony. And we were also saying how terrible a system it is and how it services no one. After it's put more out, I think model videos on YouTube. Yep, fair enough. Yep, that's the length I was after. I'm pretty sure those are identical. I'm not going to tip it up and show you this time because if it falls off, there's a very small part there to lose. So we move that one out of the way. We now have our 3 pieces. A very tiny part to lose. The back part and the main part there as well. So these will basically go over the top of this one, all soldered together to give us a nice strong connecting rod, as was done on this one. Should get my sheet card down really, shouldn't I, for the focus. You can see here it's all held together very nicely, and it is the middle bit that we cut out on the back giving us that extra bit of strength to keep it together. Cutting those into teeny pieces, indeed. Roof falls off. You'll be glad to know, James, that we do have a roof. Sat there in primer, ready to go on at some point. Those are seriously teeny, they are. That will be some seriously delicate soldering. It will indeed. Imagine doing that in Engage. I would rather not. That would be fun. Good evening, Linny. Welcome. How are you this evening? It is good to have you here. Let's turn the soldering iron on. And fetch us some flux. Because as you know, you cannot have too much flux. I'm sure there are many soldering professionals out there that probably disagree with some of my tips like that. But I'm going to keep saying them. I'm also going to clean my glasses because we're working with very small stuff. It'd be nice to have my glasses and actually be able to see what we're doing. I've heard it helps. And we can go back to holding random things, one of which is a bit of brass rod that I'm now going to use to apply some flux to this. And also to these. Cannot have too much flux lake. Why not flux lake? Okay, thanks. You just got live chat and online course I'm doing. Fair enough. I am well, thanks. Are you going to use the paper washer trick to avoid soldering everything solid? I had considered it. So far, it's not actually been an issue when I've been doing these things. But it probably would be a good one to teach people. So yes, I may well do that with it. Do not worry about the noise, that's just things falling out my hands as I try to not make lots of noise. So we are just going in with the ceramic tweezers holding everything down. These stop your hand and fingers getting burned. And tinning all the bits we need. Well, Mr. Chatbot says, did you know I have a Twitter account? You should check it out, it's awesome. I sometimes tweet things. Mainly promotion for the stream, but don't tell the chatbot that. And then I look around for stuff because I want these ones, because these ones are easier for moving stuff around. You can line them up. Once again, confirm we've got the same length. And then once again, get the iron to hold everything. To join everything whilst we use these ceramics to hold everything. I do know what I'm trying to say, honest. think we're there, and that's in the right place. I'm just going to have a close-up look. This will be very hot, so I'm not going to pick it up by hand. And there we have it. Another bit of valve gear, another bit of the gear done. Thankfully. Now, this bit here, of course, it's got the screw through holding slide rods onto the con rods. I'm really good with loco parts, in case you hadn't noticed. And it is just screwed in place. That will never hold long term. So I'm just going to put a dab of solder onto the end there. Just to hold the nut and the screw together, basically. Now it's not going to come apart and lose a very, very, very tiny screw. Way applause. Save your applause for the healthcare workers and the retail workers and the transport staff of the world right now. All I'm doing is providing some entertainment from a safe place. At least I hope it's entertaining. So the next thing we need to do is get the rod out for this. Get the tiny screw and the tiny nut for this. We will cut this down to the same length as this, screw it all together, test it in the loco, and then apply a dollop of solder to that. I approve of not losing a very, very, very tiny screw. Thank you, James. So do I. For some reason, I don't have spares of the screw. I do have spares of the nuts. Let's really give you an idea of just how tiny these are. Go on, focus. No, are we just too small to get any focus, or is it just my fingers are in shot? Right, we are getting no focus. But you get the idea of how tiny that is, even out of focus, don't you? Those are seriously teeny. Yes, yes they are. So we do not lose them. Don't need to be in focus to see how dinky that ones are. That's what I thought. Yeah. It's shockingly small. Tell you what, it's great fun trying to put them together. Fun with a capital A. That's where that wants to cut. can see that line properly now. I will remind you, I am wearing stuff over my eyes. Make sure you do too when doing these things. Prove I'm not losing things. Yes, so do I. I did choose to build a minuscule engine. I did. The screws and stuff for the valve for the gear though will be the same size regardless of the size of engine. There we go. That goes in there nicely. Proof of PPE. Well, we do need a PPE command, you're quite right. PPE is very, very important. This one, and we're going to make sure she fits between her rods here. This too is a very, very fiddly job because you keep getting this port on things. Mainly with fingers. Now the question is that not fitting because it's too tight, or is it not fitting because there's a bit of solder blocking it in a lump? Or is it not fitting because this is... That is definitely not this because it fits in this one. I think we're going to have to loosen this one up a bit. And you could link some useful information about modelling PPE. That is PPE for modelers, not models of PPE. I mean, both would be good. Who doesn't want to see a model of a builder in a high-vis jacket? Can't think of what else there would be at the moment. Problematic, just a teeny bit though. Yes, just a teeny bit. Going slightly better, but I don't think it's quite there yet. It is not quite there yet. That's fine, it's not the end of the world. Managed to wake up in time this morning. Hello Annie, welcome. How are you this evening? Oh, well, morning for you. I hope you are well. It's very good to have you here. There we go, so we've got that one out. That should do. There's a tiny, tiny amount that is off. So if I can grab the round file, 3 attempts that took. Got to go? Okay, thank you for coming by, Jeff. Has been great to see you here. Hope you can make the Skype call tomorrow as well, if you're about. That would be great. Good evening, Lady Alex. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. 9:41 AM New Zealand time. Well, funny that is 9:41 PM UK time. Management said so, are they? Yeah, definitely got to follow that order then, Jeff. Gosh, that's early or late. Have a splendid evening. Right, so with a little bit more taken out from there. Card then rather crooked. Tired and have cramps again, but otherwise I'm alright. Well, tired and cramps is no fun. We lost that bit completely now. You don't want these getting caught in your fingers. I do not recommend it. Right, let's give this a bit of a fire on this side as well. To be fair, I don't want anything getting caught in my fingers. No, that's a good point, James. Good point, well made. Right, that is moving up and down there quite nicely now. So we just want to get that lined up properly and get some solder reapplied. Sits in the back row poking sewing needles through her fingers. Yeah, I can't say I recommend that. I do actually have some sewing needles up on the workbench though. We'll use the straight edge of that to keep them straight. Oh dear. Just drop a little bit of solder on. And there we go, that is that in place. But I've soldered it the wrong way round. Now I can see why modelling inside cylinder engines is so popular. Indeed, there will not be many outside cylinder engines that I model. Oops, that wasn't meant to come all the way off there like that. This is going swimmingly. Ever so swimmingly. Remember kids, hydration is important. Let's remove that bit from there. There we go, got there in the end. I'm swimmingly in flux. No, I've not spilled the flux yet. Don't jinx it, James. Now I can actually see on this one where this crossbar was fitted. because there's a big blob of solder with an indent in it. So if I then line up with that one, in theory, he says, as long as they're lined up, they're in the right place. I think that's going to need some more flux. Don't spill it, don't spill it. I'm sorry, I did hear that as swimming in flux, which I wouldn't recommend. No, definitely wouldn't recommend swimming in flux. There we go, we're joined. Whoa. Don't drop the power cable on what you're trying to solder. Don't do this using your fingers to hold it down. That's a bit more solid. Tries to convince himself it's a bit more solid. One of these is moving around still. Oh dear, oh dear. And it's that one that's causing us the problem. This one is really, really solid. I can't bend that at all. There we go. Right, that should hopefully be solid now. Yep, quite solid. Now if only it was possible to see what I was doing. I really don't want to be putting them in the wrong way round. Not again. That went somewhere. So I got asked the other day why the live stream doesn't ever include me crawling around on the floor looking for parts. Sometimes I drop them. And I've got no idea where that's gone. I do not recommend dropping the parts you're trying to solder. Just me, it's really quiet audio this week. My speakers are on 45% there and I still barely hear you when you're talking. Hopefully it's just you. Can we get some confirmation from other people? The bot wants you to check out the channel's website. Technically, so do I. I do have advertising revenue on there. So, you know, feel free to go and click some links on the adverts on it. Speaking of doing that kind of thing in O's, I'm very much impressed. Oh, God. Thank you, Annie. I say, sometimes working in O seems to have advantages. I really cannot see where that's gone. Did anyone see? Of course you didn't, because it went off this way, didn't it? Gosh darn. Actually, I don't have any more of those. I don't think I've even got another sprue. I always find that non-droppy parts are the best. Here, Gary, that sounds softer than it has been in the past. There's lots of space shades, but I don't do model making any orgies. Illness, probably only after you mentioned it, James. That is a shame. The audio on my microphone on the streaming software is turned all the way up. So there shouldn't be issues. I have checked. Because of course I check when anyone points something out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that bit now. Because I just can't see it anywhere. I can't even see anything on the sprue I could replace with, short of cutting my own piece. I think the sound is fine. It's been too loud in the past and been a bit distorted, especially when your main microphone is broken. This is better, I think, but may require more volume at the listener end. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely better than when the main microphone was broken. There's no doubt about that. Hydration, ladies and gentlemen. Dear me, lost part, always an unfortunate state of affairs. It is indeed. Sound fine on my retro aviator headset, Gary? Excellent. Very glad to hear it, Annie. I approve of retro aviator headsets, as does James. So let's put that aside for a moment whilst I think. So something else we need to do tonight is to get the bits of motion painted. Should have done this earlier, really. Was actually on my list for the start of the evening, but I forgot. The rods want to be red. Bright buffer being red, for that matter. So, we're going to put some paint on them. And whilst putting paint on them, I'm going to carry on looking around at everything and seeing if I can see this part. Because I'm not giving up on finding it. Retro things are generally good, aren't they? Such as the LBSC. Will turn up in 6 months. Hello, Ian Mullen. Indeed, it shall turn up in 6 months, I'm sure. How are you this evening? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. I hope you are well. Gone up another 10%, much clearer, and loads to put my volume up too high, lest it gets tinny. There's no issue with that with my voice, is there? Let's be honest. Steampunk girl me, indeed, Annie. Indeed, steampunk is reasonably good. Such as good example of steampunk I enjoy being Corbs's steampunk single he did. Have you seen that? Woody Grayson and Timmy. There we go, even the back of the motion's painted. And the roof of the terrier there, let's not do that. Don't know if you found a bit, I've tried to look back in the footage for you, no dice. I have not yet found it. Thank you for looking back in the footage to see if you can see where it went. That is definitely appreciated. I am quite sure it will turn up. We're just taking a break from looking by painting the bits of motion that need painting, which we really should have done at the start of the video, and I meant to do at the start of the video, but I forgot because that's the kind of host I am. You don't come here to see someone competent, do you? I hope you don't, anyway. There we go. All nice and painted. Oh, chat's gone above where I can see looking back. I have a nice bowler hat with aviator's goggles but no fur-lined hat as yet. Good colour promotion, Stradley, possibly Craven did have a sense of style. This is indeed Craven livery, and yes. Well, Stradley technically I believe was actually darker, like I've done on the D1, rather than the bright red Hornby have done on the Terrier. Oh, a bowler hat umbrella too. Yes, bowler hat. Good evening to you, thank you for the welcome. Not a problem, Ian, good to have you here. Time to call in the kittens. No Broly, just a walking stick. The flux kittens. Competent, that'd be no fun. Exactly, James, exactly. No one would enjoy it if I was competent. Walking stick, how stylish. Silver top game, not so posh as that. There's much to be said for a good D1. Indeed there is, which is why it got picked as one of the low. I'm good. Still getting responses, so I didn't just completely kill the microphone there. Yes, there is very much to be said for a good D1, which is why it got picked as one of the background logos this evening. I like this idea of having logos in the background that we tried out last week, and I think we shall carry it on. Just obviously giving another quick look round for this part. Audio problems back now. Good, glad it's back. Happy background locomotives, yes. Happy background locomotives. Right, I am going to leave you with the Be Right Back music, which I'm told is rather relaxing, whilst I just see if I have another sprue that I can steal a part off of. Back in a second. might be in luck. It's going to need some butchery, but I have another, albeit slightly different, DJH sprue. Let's catch up with chat. I confess that my favourite is the H1. Well, I'm sure the H1 will reappear as a background locomotive again, as it did last week. Or maybe the i3. I do like a good Atlantic. I do like a good Atlantic as well, James. They are absolutely fantastic locos, aren't they? I may get them both out. I've got one here you can have. Hopefully it's not going to come to me needing to get another one. I do have another, as I say, slightly different sprue, but it's close enough that I should be able to butcher it into what we're using here. There's the Patreon being promoted by the bot there. One advantage wearing long skirts. Tiny parts fall on my workbench, I can land neatly in my lap. Yes, usually the tiny parts here land on my chair and are easy to grab again. Probably this has gone shooting off to the side. It's quite impressive really, because from where it's shot there's 12 inches or so of workbench before you reach the table that my laptop is on, and it's not under the laptop either. That is what I was checking when the audio went. But yeah, I have another DJH sprue that I can butcher one of these from, because again it's a loco that won't get built and has been stripped for parts already, so it's not the end of the world. I do have lots of locos I strip for parts. Kits that were bought cheap when my modelling projects were different. The gap there is the same. Yes, this can easily be butchered into what we want. That's not going to pose any problems at all. Let me get my glasses back. The only problem this appears to be causing is it doesn't like my pen drawing on it. Oh no, I didn't want to drop you because that hasn't smudged the ink, thankfully. Let's get that there, holding that side. I can hold that side. We will put the saw blade back on and make some marks in this. As per usual, everyone, if you don't like the noise of this, do shout mute in chat and I shall hit that mute button. Yeah, that's going in the right place, that's fine. Do you like your little anvil? Thank you, Annie. It is great, isn't it? It makes a nice base for sawing on, what with the workbench having a glass top. Right, I think I'm going to put this in the vice so I can be a bit more aggressive with it. And of course, I can still give you a view of what I'm doing thanks to this. God, nearly 3 months old, this camera system now. Put some blue tack under the anvil. It's more that I wasn't getting enough grip on this than the anvil. We're almost there. Again, you want me to mute? Shout mute, I will do it. For the record, for those that don't know, I've offered to mute doing stuff like this before and been told not to. There we go, we're through. Don't fall too far. By the time we've cleaned that up with a file, that's going to be absolutely fine. This evening, this is looking a bit violent. Jordan past the watershed. Hello, Stephen. Welcome. How are you this evening? It is good to see you back again. It is indeed a bit violent, isn't it? We lost a part and we're fabricating a new one. Don't lose it. No, indeed, Ian. Quite right. We do not want to lose it. That is exactly the size we want, though. That is perfect now. If I just get a line there that I can use to cut along again. Well, I shall put that back in the vise. So we're just coming up out the side this time. Oh, blimey, you sure you don't want me to mute everyone? There we go. That didn't take long, did it? That's gone. So this should now yes. Perfect. Let's once again just clean up the burrs on this with the file. Hopefully not quite as bad as the other one was. Doesn't feel it. There we go. Put the anvil away. Move the vice before I puncture myself on it. And let's bring all our parts back over. If I sit that end in the blue tack like that to hold it up and get the other side soldered on, that should make life a lot easier. He says hopefully. Again, you don't come here to watch someone competent, do you? There we go. No, whatever. That way, that's better. Ceramic tips so I won't burn myself on it. And there we have our part back together. Helps if you line it up properly. There we go, that slides in and out on there just like it's meant to. Excellent. I am going to refill the hydration vessel because once again everyone, hydration is important. And I am out. Oh, I see, motion bracket. Might end up with enough bits on the floor to build a second engine. We only have the one motion bracket on the floor so far, Stephen. We're doing okay. That's how I like to think of it anyway. Yay, success indeed, Annie. So yes, as I say, hydration is important. Make sure you are all staying hydrated out there in YouTube land. That body's drying very nicely, as are all these parts of the motion. Of course, the problem now is we want to give this a little bit longer to dry before we actually start test fitting things. So, rather than just going ahead and doing that and losing everything and it all getting stuck and going horribly wrong, I think we'll stick some extra paint on this in the form of liquid gold. Have a pot of tea so I'm adequately hydrated. Excellent, glad to hear it, Annie. Oh, the child lock doesn't want to let me in. See somewhere back up front. Annie said she doesn't do any railway modelling these days. She's being too modest. I think digital modelling has convinced me it's a worthwhile medium. You are quite correct, of course, Stephen. Annie's virtual modelling is fantastic. Pots for tea make me go more tea, Vicar. Yes. So, Annie's virtual modelling is the reason I own a copy of the simulator that Annie uses, because it really is fantastic. So for those that don't know, this liquid gold by Vallejo, it is a gold leaf essentially, and it looks fantastic. On just about whatever you put it on. They also do silver and copper. So whenever I'm after a metallic look, it is their range that I use, and it is their range that I recommend. But it needs remixing frequently, and I think I'm going to have to remix this. I think there's a bit too much solvent there. Like that lot was gone on just there on the dome, may need a second coat. Doesn't this just bring out the elegance of this logo beautifully? Just fantastic stuff. Oh no, it's not a patch of green. What looks like a patch of green on the front of the dome there is actually the green reflecting off the gold. I do love using that stuff. At least the digital modelling dropping parts on the floor is no longer a problem. That's a very good point. You make a very good point there, Annie. This stuff also dries instantly. All that I've just put on, completely dry now. It does sometimes make it a pain to get it off the brush though. Very pretty, it's brilliant, it is. I think whoever CAD'd this up should be very proud of themselves, Javier. I really do. And whilst we're here, let's stick some black on the funnel and the water tank filler. The funnel, the base of which will be getting the gold treatment, as will the caps. I'm not going to worry too much about getting all the way down and covering it all. And I suppose whilst we're here, we can get the back head covered with it as well. And there we go. Starting to come to life. She is indeed. She's fantastic. Let's clean the brush off before we do any more painting. We will check on the valve gigs. It was very, very nearly dry, and I want to get that on there, really. I have to give the guy credit when I see him. You will, Javier. Indeed, you will. Certainly deserves the credit. I shall have to speak to our friend Ian at EB Models about the number plates for this, as I know he does now do Craven number plates, so I can get some nice etched brass 27s to put on the side, and it will be absolutely fantastic. I think she's okay for testing purposes. This is not the most fun of jobs. So we'll get the bolt lined up there. With the nut lined up there, we'll drop the screw through. I don't know why I always say bolt when I mean nut. I know the difference. And there we go, that is those parts attached together. So they are the motion for this side. And the first thing we want to test is that the wheel can go round with it in. And I've just realised that this is the wheel that's attached to the motor, isn't it? You'll have to build the Helen I loco is even smaller than that one. Oh, don't tempt me, Ian. I have drawings of the Helen I loco. I do have drawings of it. So it's certainly something that could, in theory, happen. Of course, this loco was Hailsham's Polegate. So it's not like we're outside that area by much. But I'm going to take this off for a second so I don't drop it. That screw's in totally the wrong place for me to get to it. We're going to have to turn the loco on and make it go round. Oh look, and there's a link to my Instagram. That did it, that's in the right place now. You all saw that, the motor works and the wheels turn. think someone had a kit of it. Really? So I have got a book sat about 10 foot that way with the drawings in. Yes, there we go. She works. We can now tighten that screw back up and leave that tightened. Those wheels will from now on only move under the power of the motor. And I do not believe we are far away from being able to do that properly. I don't know what I dropped there, but it was stuck to my arm. Oh, I see what it was, and it's not so. It was my knife blade for the X-Acto. You probably don't want to get too close to them. Certainly not close enough that they get stuck to your arm. So yes, I was saying she will be DCC fitted with the latest DCC 6-wire chips that we normally use. She will be getting some pickups. I'm looking at the time and thinking we're not going to get that done tonight, as we had hoped might happen. But I'll be very happy if we can get the motion done and on. And I don't see any reason why we can't, do you? Better than stuck in your arm. That is true, Annie. That is very, very true. So our conrods go on. We drop the washer down in front. We want to do that on both of them. We're going to put a washer and then the conrod and then another washer on there. But before that, we want to get this cut down. Now if I can make a mark in there, I can pop that off and away for now. I have to go to work tomorrow, so I shall say good night and good health to you all. Okay, good night, Paderborn. It has been fantastic having you here again this evening. Sleep well. We're going to put some proper goggles on here because PPE is important. and we're going to send stuff flying across the room. That is why PPE is important. We're going to get all our parts out again and see how well that's worked. That's brilliant. That's just where we wanted it. We can take a tiny bit off of the file. And this one doesn't want to go on, does it? That's quite alright. Plenty more where that came from. And that is where that one shall sit, so we shall do the same there with that now layered up, as I said earlier. So we have the coupling rod, the washer, the con rod and the washer, and then we can cut that down. So we'll once again use the saw blade just to make our mark in this. And we'll put those goggles back on because we're going to send another tiny shard of metal flying around the room. And then we can put this side valve gear together, sort of. Make sure it all fits. Even tweezers. And there we have, albeit held in place, a complete set of motion and rods. Isn't she fantastic? I certainly think so. Now that can actually lose a little bit to the file there. Better. Much better. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Lady Alex. Your approval is very much appreciated. Now, of course, the tricky part will be having everything threaded together and getting it all stuck in place permanently. Because, of course, that is what we want to do next, is we want to get this motion stuck in place. Oh, there's another plug for the donations links. Thank you, Gary Bob. Remember, everyone, hydration is important, so as we tick into the last hour of the stream, has anyone else got anything on the go as they watch tonight? What are we doing? bits, he says. Log of super glue tipped on the side, he says. Wiring my N-gauge layout. Car. Excellent. I cannot say that wiring is my most favourite of jobs. I fear I have much of it ahead of me though, as I'm sure Tuesday's video will explain. Narrow cab T9 Old Westwood kit. Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed. I do like a narrow cab T9. Waiting impatiently for my video to finish exporting for upload. I can't say anyone ever waits patiently for that. I certainly know I don't. So with that part stuck on, let's drop some flux just on these ends. And acquire ourselves the tiniest bit of solder. So I had to leave. Oh wow, I can't believe you left at that point, Javier. I really can't. It's supposed to be finished in the next 50 to 55 minutes. There's still potential to upload it today, and please the gods. But the YouTube algorithms. Just about. So how's that looking, Javier? That's all attached. And I can still see. It's amazing, isn't it? Can't resist. It's beautiful. She just beautiful. Happy dance. I thought so. And again, for those that have joined us since and were not here earlier, Javier is the designer of this kit. And what a fantastic job he did on it. If you want to check out the kit for yourself, you need to jump over to Javier's Shapeways shop, which can be found by putting !Javier in the chat. There is a very nice selection of logos in there. I would definitely recommend checking it out. As you can see, Javier is a very talented designer. We've got to do it all again on this side now. Lovely, thank you, Ian. Very tidy, thank you, Annie. Oh no, we can't do that side yet, that is still very, very wet. Right. Let's put these away before we lose them. You can see I'm not short on these washers. Thank you, Lady Alex. There is a link to Javier's Shapeways shop. There's a very, very, very nice selection of logos in there. I'm sure there's stuff in there that will suit you as well, my dear lady. So, knowing we can't do that right this second, that probably knocks the idea of getting her to move with the gear on out for tonight, unfortunately. It would have been nice to see it happen, but that is still very wet there, and I don't think we're going to have time to sort that. I don't know why that one is wet when the rest of them are all dry, but we can at least splash some black paint around on the footplate area and get her looking a little bit more finished. B4X in the pipeline, is that bit Hornby Schools or 2P chassis? There we go, see? We're getting you some promotion. I should point out for those YouTube gods that Lady Alex was discussing earlier, this is not sponsored. I paid full price for this kit. I just like to support the creators whose things I use. No, I did add indents on the. Did I add indents on the tank for the handrails or no? You did indeed add indents on the tank for the handrails. Come on, Mary, come on, do the right. No, no, I'm not. I'm not singing. Even knowing what the song is. and in fact knowing the tune for that matter. It's not happening. But if you want me to do some promotion, then whilst we're here, if you are enjoying the stream tonight and enjoying the banterous times we have, honestly we do occasionally, then just because the stream ends in just under an hour does not mean the conversation has to. If you hit !Discord in the chat, you will get a link to join my Discord server, where we have lots of good times. We currently have the voice chat open, which is not a normal feature, for us to sit and talk, because of course everyone needs human interaction sometimes, and I'm just trying to help facilitate that in this less than ideal time. So yes, please do come and join us over on Discord. We would love to have you there. And there is a link to Discord from Javier. Thank you very much. Starting to feel sleepy, but I'll stay as long as I can. Fair enough, Annie. Thank you for sticking with us. It really, really is appreciated. I can't even imagine how hard that must be at times. Okay, sorry. No. No, Alex, it's not happening. I'm not singing. You can make up as many different lyrics as you want. It's not happening. That's not how Darren's going to sing for us. No, no, I'm not. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. I have certainly sung during the live stream before, on at least 3 occasions. And there we have the parts that need to be black turned black. Still doesn't quite fit Angela music in there. Well, see, if it doesn't fit, then I definitely can't sing, Alex. Can't have me singing stuff that doesn't fit. Sorry. Have standards, you know. I don't know what they are, but I assume I have them. Oh look, the bot is telling me I need to have a drink. It is saying, remember kids, hydration is important. So once that's dried a bit and we can put the body on, that's going to look fantastic, isn't it? Oh yes it is. There's a couple of bits where I've scratched the green paint as well, so let's touch them up. I don't know how well the difference between the green and the black is showing up on stream. I know that when this green paint is wet, it is looking very black, but I assure you it's not. I mean, I think it's slightly darker than it's supposed to be, but it's close enough. There we go. Now for not very like that inside that terrier. I could tune half the tape and change them. Over the whistle a bit like that. No, no, I am not singing. Well, anyway, I always preferred the Black Lace songs that we can't sing on the PG stream. Just saying. We're going to get this liquid gold back as well. And just get that chimney finished, actually. I think that should be copper. So we'll go with the copper. Any more attempts to make me sing, Alex? It's still not happening. God. What's worse than a child lock? A child lock stuck shut by paint. And what's worse than that? A child lock that's really stuck by paint. There we go. Got it. Weakening. More song suggestions. No, I'm not weakening. I definitely can't sing that one. Imagine what Luke would think if he ever watches this. Fun fact though, I can play that on the guitar. No, not happening on stream. We do not do public guitar performances anymore. Right. There's me red. There's me red, and we can do the regulator handle. Ow. Don't punch the microphone. The question is, why would you play it on anything? Because my guitar teacher was insistent that I learnt it. Back when I did lessons. That's not the lid, that's a tin of paint. For those wondering, tins of paint are not lids. I should have stayed with the red and done the buffer beans. Let's do that. If I'm really careful, we might be able to get some silver on the buffers. And then, from a visual point of view, on this side at least, all we'll need to do is get the roof on. Oh, and obviously the number plates. Really going to have to sleep as I say goodnight to you all. It's been fun. Well, thank you for coming, Annie. It really does mean a lot that you choose to spend your time with us. So thank you. I really hope you have enjoyed, and I hope to see you again next week, provided you are awake. So good night, and I shall look forward to seeing some more of your digital posts on our web. In fact, bye Annie, good night Annie. Coming on nicely, bedtime for me too. Thank you, Stephen. Good night. Has been great to have you here as always. And I hope you shall be back next week when, I think next week I might even get a bit of, see if I can get a bit of track out and get ready for this and see if we can make it go backwards and forwards. Get a bit of track out. I've got a bit of track pinned to the workbench. I don't need to get a bit of track out, I just need to plug it back in. But I will indeed be very surprised if we don't get to that point next week. Everyone's hitting sack instead of that. For better or mostly worse. Well, we do only have half an hour left. We are looking, it is 11:30 UK time. I can't say I blame people for hitting the sack. Hey, look, there's a link to the Discord from the wonderful chatbot. Does a fantastic job, that chatbot. And we must all thank him for it. Is it a him? Who knows? I don't think it is. I think it's an it. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Look at that. Hope you're looking now, Javier. Because, oh, yes. Oh, I'm very happy with that. She's a wonderful little engine. I wish she'd focus better. I do have to get more light. Will it focus better? That looks amazing. I shall look forward to seeing this archaic delight running. Thank you, James. It's fabulous, isn't it? It's an absolute doll. Indeed, Javier, it is. Oh my god. It's every bit as amazing as I always thought it would be. It's absolutely superb. So she's still got some details to add. She's not done yet. But I just don't think it's even possible to explain how happy I am looking at that. Get that back off before the paint sets it in place, because we certainly do not want that happening. Yeah, that would not be good. That's feeling a lot more dry, but I'm very conscious that if I leave this on its side, we're going to ruin all that lovely paintwork I've put on it. Sometimes your paintwork has to take a beating. Very nice in full screen. Excellent. Glad to hear it, Ian. Now, I've got a screen on next to me on my telly. I've got it on, but it's really hard to judge the focus on that because it's nearly 20 seconds behind live. By the time I can see how well focused something is on there, it's a bit late, really. I think that's enough. Yes, I can see that. Goggles on, folks. Okay, you probably don't need the goggles, but you can't be too safe. Wow, that went all the way across the room in one direction, hit the wall, and went all the way in the other direction. That is why goggles are very important. Yeah, my paintwork is suffering from that. But sometimes paintwork has to suffer. give it a little bit of a file, make sure we can get on there okay. There we go. Oh, no, I want to put another one of these on first, don't I? So we've almost achieved the goal of getting the motion fitted tonight. Yeah. So I see the procedure here. Yeah, it's just the saw is just there to make a mark for us so that we cut it in the right place. Oh, there's still another washer on this side. Silly me. There's the mark. Goggles. Sorry, looks very precarious. It is indeed. That's why I don't saw all the way through. There we go. And the goggles can come back off. we're obviously not getting as clean cuts as we did on the other side. There we go, we're on. PPE, we definitely need that command even more than the Flux Kittens command. I will have to come up with something for it, James, because you're quite right. We do need the PPE command. That's gone all loose on me. We can't be having that. Do link some useful information about model and PPE on your website. Oh, that's a good idea. That is a very, very good idea, James. Needs to move about 0.5 millimetre more. Tight better than loose, yes. Maybe even affiliate links for goggles, oh if only. I'd be all over useful affiliate links. Good ideas are the best sort of ideas, I find. I agree, James. Gosh, that is seriously intricate. It is, isn't it? No, you go in front of that bit, not behind it. And through the bars, yes, that's better. Much better. There we go. Engage no smoking signs pale in insignificance compared to this. I'll take your word for that. You are quite right, James. Hydration is important. The fact you have already gently tapped is greatly appreciated. I must say, after my comments earlier, I am looking forward to seeing what it's like down there. Hydration kittens. New plug. I'm surprised that brought up the hydration command actually. It's only supposed to show you the command if there's nothing else there, because there's a separate thing to make you be able to add other words. And I never enabled it. Alright then. The last bits of solder for tonight. There we are, she is soldered. Oops, I glued my paint pot to the bench. Perhaps this entire time I to enable it to allow two titration kittens plus plus kittens. New sizzle indeed. I must say, I really, really, really want to put the power on it now. And see if we can make it run, but I'm really rather dubious of the super glue being able to hold the motion brackets and slide bars in place. They will get more permanently stuck with epoxy, but it'll be 8-hour stuff, so I'm not doing that live. I approve of putting power on things. Yes. Yes. I don't know if I'll be able to resist, to be completely honest. The power is sitting right here, it is plugged in. As I say, I'm dubious about the ability of the super glue to hold the motion brackets. But it would be rude not to give it a chance, wouldn't it? That's very low, but it should be high enough to get the wheels turning. Or maybe not. Maybe we need a little bit more power to get the wheels turning. Have we got a tight spot? These are things you expect with this sort of stuff, so it's not a problem. I think we do have a tight spot. Resistance futile equals a 10k ohm resistor. Bit of a dog's strength, I know. Did I arrive just in time to start turning with wheels? Well, as much as any chassis is going to start turning wheels when you've just fitted the rods for the first time, so nothing is guaranteed. And it would appear we have a tight spot. Ah, yes, there we go. So you know when I said the super glue might not hold the motion brackets on, the super glue hasn't held the motion brackets on and it's pulled them in and they're fouling the rods at the front. That's what's holding it in place. So I will have to get those stuck on properly with the 8-hour epoxy before actually getting it to turn its wheels. So that will be next week. As you can see, if I move these out, then everything moves quite happily until they pull themselves back in and get hit by it. So that's not a problem. That is a sort of expected thing. Honestly, it is, because I did not expect the super glue to hold them long term. That was more for looks once I thought there was no way we were getting it running tonight. But she's still super pretty. Super, super pretty. So the next jobs on this, of course, is this bag here, which contains the roof, the reverser, the brake, and the rods that hold the roof up. Looks really nice. Thank you, Heritage Railway Productions. I shall look forward to seeing this run on the layout. It shall indeed be doing that. It shall have a proper range of Craven carriages to pull as well. Gorgeous little thing, amazing work so far. Thank you, Alex. What will it call? 2 empty wagons and a small brake van? No, no, no. Four carriages, as the real one did. So our brake goes there. Our reverser goes there. Our roof goes about there. That really is the gold standard that I love to see here. For goodness me, that is impressive. Indeed, isn't it just? It's going to need a bit of weight adding to it for that. Gold, because this is gold. Gold. Always believe in your soul. You've got the power to know you're indestructible. Always believe in gold, gold. There you go. I sang. Happy now? Bet she's not even here, is she? Definitely need that command too. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Weight in the form of weight in the form of. Where's my? You know, I've used it for something. It's not here, is it? Oh, there it is. Weight in the form of liquid gravity in just about every look. Let's go for a great entertaining evening and break from T9. Thank you for coming here. I'm glad you have enjoyed. It really does mean a lot to have you all here. Pretty Gary singing, that was more chanting than singing. Waiting for the God. Ah, that stuff. Yes, that stuff. I sang the last bit of it, James. I mean, if you really want to hear me sing Gold, what you need to do is find a karaoke bar that I'm in, because I can guarantee I will be in there singing Gold. Always happens. These are all different lengths, just to be really confusing. See, the medium ones go in some holes at the back here. The long ones go here, and the short ones go in here. They're all cut to length. Well, I suppose you did after a fashion. Yeah, I did at the end. Looks fantastic, even more fantastic. I've been dropping in and out. Thank you, Corbs. Good to have you dropping in and out. Even better if you were here. Have to sort out virtual karaoke. Join the Discord, James. come along and I'm sure we can do something. Having a virtual tea party next week. Oh, very nice. I had virtual dinner with the family last weekend, and we're currently holding virtual club meetings on a Monday evening. Locomotive does look splendid. It does, doesn't it? I can't believe I finally have it and it's looking this good. It's amazing. Actually lost for words. I am here. I just fixing the many problems I missed with this blasted video. Oh, fun times. Fun times indeed. Virtual dinner, I hope the food was real. The food was real. Had me and the kids here, had both my brothers and their kids at their respective houses, my sister and her kids at her house, and my mum at her house. All eating different meals, but we all attended. Excellent, I approve of real food. So do I. I very much approve of real food. This is awkward, I can't see those holes anymore. I can see the front one there. There it is. No, doesn't like me. Let's get that off. Never mind. Gluing the cab, no falling off Rufus with the i3. Well, we hope not. But I think I shall maybe get them glued into the body first. One at a time. Let's just see if that idea works with our last 5 minutes. It appears to. Didn't think this one had a roof. It does indeed. If we lift up here, there is the model we are going for. That's more 1850s and 1860s. There were very few Craven locos with roofs as built. And in fact, this one lost its roof later in life under Stroudley when it became a well tank. Locomotive looks completely roofless. No, there's its roof. Yes, the roof does look as though it's added later. No, but if we look at the actual photo, this is the same loco in its later years. You can see the framework for the roof is still here, but the roof actually is gone. And it lost its rear set of wheels again. It had an interesting life. But yes, they appear to be holding just fine. So let's get the last one on this side stuck on before we call it a night, because of course it is now midnight. So we have reached the end of the live stream. It has. It's a bit daft. It is a bit daft, yes. Was it just a shunter back then? After rebuilding, it was just a shunter. It was as built. It was a passenger engine. Stroudley rebuilt it as a shunter. I think I heard something that it turned into a canvas roof later. I believe it did get a canvas roof, but it's clearly not there in that photo. And carriage. That's time for your carriage to turn into a pumpkin again. Indeed, it is. So yes, it has been absolutely fantastic, everyone. I have had a great time. I really hope you have too. We have built a very fine loco. I am unbelievably happy with it. Javier has done a fantastic job. So I'd like to thank you all for coming. It really does mean a lot. There will be a video coming for a new project on Tuesday. I hope you can check that out. There will be the stream review coming on Thursday, and of course we will be back here next Sunday to quite possibly finish this locomotive. What's it out? An interesting and useful stream. Splendid engine. Thank you, James. Great stream, dude. Loco looks marvellous. Thank you, Alex. Remember, PPE hydration kittens. Indeed. Indeed. I look forward to seeing motorisation. Well, I mean, technically it is motorised. Technically, the motor's in there. I just need to get the motion stuck on so that it's not fouling it. So yes, thank you all for coming. You have been absolutely fantastic as always. I have loved every minute of it, as I always do. Please do remember to drop down there, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Until then, I have been Gary, this has been Let's Build. You have been amazing. Good night.